buddy? Thanks
What
for
up,
coming.
buddy?
If I can help you take off your shoes.
Of course, I always do.
Welcome to the studio apartment, Alex Pavone. Say what up. We're semi-live. Here's the intro.
Hey, what's up, buddy? We're live.
I mean, we're not fully live, but this will make it. Bro, have you heard about this submarine that's lost on the way to the Titanic?
Yes.
250K and they get lost. All right, I want to pop up this.
Are they alive?
I don't know. Hold on.
Atlantic Ocean. The tourist submersible visits the wreck near Newfoundland with dives lasting up to 10 hours. The company that charges $250,000 for the expedition views the famous ship almost 4,000 meters below the surface. The Boston Coast Guard said an operation to find it was underway. A watercraft that takes people.
All right, man.
Yeah,
well,
I
pretty
saw
dramatic.
that.
And then also the people on board are like suspiciously wealthy, where it's one of the richest guys in Pakistan. I don't know if these are controversial figures to where a government would want to shoot an underwater missile at them, but that's scary, bro. If I'm paying 250K to go underwater that deep, visit the Titanic, I'm expecting at least a vlog out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel bad. I mean, look, I feel bad because I don't know who these people are, but
Yeah.
just anybody missing at sea, it's being underwater for like a minute fucked me up. So just being, but there are people who like initially when it happened, people were like, "Oh my God, this is terrible," and then everyone found out that they were like really rich.
Yeah.
And now people are like, well, why the fuck did you need to go see the Titanic?
Dude,
you
apparently,
fucking morons.
so there's a guy in the submarine right now. One of the 5 people. He went to space last year on Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin. So I guess he's just trying to do everything Lux in the world, dude. And apparently, there are way more people who have been to space than have been that deep in the ocean.
Yeah. We haven't been that
Terrifying.
deep, right, into the ocean as much as we
I don't think
essentially
so.
know that I don't think anything's there.
Like I was in Florida on a boat like 6 weeks ago, and just being out and you can see the land, like even just looking the other way, it's scary. Man.
Yeah, it's terrifying, but also like now that everyone knows that they're really rich people, the concern has not. No one cares anymore.
Well, do you think it would potentially be a conspiracy theory? What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, everything's a conspiracy theory. Why not? For sure. If you stay in the house long enough, buddy,
I know.
everything's a conspiracy theory.
And then
for
Andrew
sure.
Tate just went to jail.
Did
They're
he?
charging him with trafficking and R blank PE. You know what I mean? Crazy, dude.
What is it?
I was saying R like asterisk PE because I didn't want to say the word.
Okay, yeah, you don't want to say that.
I guess we'll just blur,
Yes,
beep it out.
Sorry, yeah. I was like,
Oh, good. I don't know. I mean, weird fucking situation with him, but
I know nothing
seems
about the
pretty
guy.
compelling. Yeah, I think he was just saying too many controversial things, and it made people dig into his past. I'm not saying that the things that he's being charged for are not true, but I mean, when you are testing governments and you're really trying to put your message forward, and it might affect other dynasties company-wise and their legacy, I don't know.
yeah, man.
It's pretty crazy situation,
Greta
bro.
Thunberg is next, man.
Yeah.
for sure, man. You want to test the world leaders, bro?
Yeah, that's
And you want to
true,
tell them to
man.
lower your carbon footprint?
Yeah, bro.
She's gonna go to fucking jail.
Well,
next.
that's why I'm a vegan. You know what I'm saying?
Are you actually?
Try and balance it out. Yeah, it's been like 3.5 years.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, that's
Thank
cool,
you.
man. I one of my big things is like, what's this podcast about?
It's about you and your life. So we're gonna start on. We're starting on current events, and then I want to get to you and just dig deep.
This is the Ted Jones podcast.
the Ted Jones World.
Oh,
podcast.
okay,
Yes,
yeah,
bro.
no, because I saw like all just in case people
Yeah.
get amnesia.
Well, I'm sure they know. And also, right down here, you can see it right here, engraved in the screen, the Ted Jones World.
How about the
here.
stickers in your bathroom, just in case people forget?
Oh,
where they
well,
are,
they don't
why
know
they're
about
here.
it, but yes, everywhere you look, just so I won't forget. Also, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, dude?
You can't
Every
turn around in
place.
that bathroom without getting a,
Yes,
a
exactly.
Ted Jones
Dude, that's
sticker.
funny. Mike Cannon mentioned that. He was like, I was washing my hands, and then I also turn around, see another Ted Jones World sticker all over the place, man.
But that's really cool, man, because one thing I don't want to do is be a hypocrite. And I do try to care about, you know, the environment and the world and all these people around me, and not try to be too greedy, even though like it's inherently in all of us. So when you do stuff like be a vegan, which I don't think I can do, I commend it. To be honest with you.
Well, do you mean you try and do other things that are helpful towards the environment or making the world a better place? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, no, I try to be overall just a good dude and not,
Which you are, I will say.
I hope
absolutely.
so. I hope
you
so.
are. Bro, I mean,
Cool.
you forgave me for blowing up one of your spots like 3.5, 4 years ago.
It's all good.
No, I mean, bro, I felt terrible.
It's all good,
There was
man.
a crazy. I don't
You
want to
don't
say they
have
were
to do
home.
this.
I don't want to say they were. Well, dude, I should. There was a crazy person outside of a show. I like started, spewing with them a little bit, talking back and forth, and I was like, "You should come into the show." They came into the show and then just caused a ruckus, and it was right during your set. I felt bad.
It's all good, man. I honestly knew that I got upset at you for something, but I couldn't figure out what it was.
Right.
After years later,
Well,
and
I think
it doesn't
I get
matter.
it. No. Well, I mean, you say that, but I think just from a human perspective, I felt bad about it because like I was out of line inviting somebody who should not have been in the front row of a comedy show into the show during the show.
I know you're a good guy, and I know you. It was just like a mistake.
It was dumb. It was a lapse.
Yeah, it was whatever.
So I spent all of COVID just thinking about that. I was like, I hope I can get Pavone on the pod, and hopefully
You got
he'll
me,
like
buddy.
me, dude.
You got
Hopefully, bro. So were you getting any shit from Americans in that there are a few forest fires from your hometown now jamming us up, or not anymore? But like last week, it was crazy.
I wasn't in New York. I was in Atlanta, so people were hitting me up. I didn't know how bad it was.
Oh, yeah.
And people were messaging me and stuff, obviously not knowing that I had nothing to do with it. But, I mean, we have a lot of forests. Uh-huh. So that, I think, might happen.
But growing up in Toronto, did you experience any of these? Did you grow up there?
I grew up in Toronto, but the forest fires are predominantly in British Columbia and Quebec. But we have them in Northern Ontario too, because there is a lot of forests and stuff. But it wasn't really newsworthy until the internet and social media became a thing.
Yeah, dude, you couldn't flip through a TikTok without seeing it.
Yeah, like apparently all these forest fires have been happening for years, especially in Northern Ontario and stuff like that. But I didn't know growing up that they were a thing. I had no idea. But now because everything is so connected, every year you're like, holy shit. You know how if you go on NASA's website, you could see all the fires across the world?
Yeah.
There's an image?
Yeah.
Yeah, like back in the day, you didn't really know that. So when you see all the Canadian fires, you're like, oh my God, what's going on up there? But I think it's just forests, and we just have a plethora of wild forests. So yeah, shit's gonna burn.
Do you think it's more of the American media that put it forward, and now we're seeing it all over our phones? It's not that much different.
Well, I mean, like it did affect New York, so
Yeah.
it's gonna anytime anything happens in New York, you're
You
gonna
hear about it.
Of course, it's a moneymaker. This city, right?
Absolutely.
If it's in the news, people are gonna talk about it. People are gonna put it on the news. Blah blah blah. But no one really gave me shit. They know I'm not.
It wasn't your fault.
Yeah,
mostly.
I wasn't in the forest, fucking chucking cigarette butts at.
Let's start from the beginning, man. Because you grew up in Toronto and you made the leap to New York a number of years ago. I mean, ever since I was like hanging out at Fat Baby initially, I always saw you around.
Yes.
So let's talk about your childhood and then making the leap.
I'm from Woodbridge, Ontario. It's like 25 minutes outside of Toronto. It's still part of whatever the Greater Toronto area. I am from, which is always surprises people, a very, very Italian neighborhood. But it's not like Staten Island Italian. It's like off the boat, first generation Italian. So
People are speaking a bunch of Italian.
yeah,
in the
yeah,
neighborhood?
yeah. Like when my fiance came for the first time, she was baffled. She's like, "What's going on here? Why is everyone speaking Italian?"
Even like at the delis, at other stores.
Everywhere. People speak English, obviously, too, but
Right.
it's, all our parents are from Italy. So all my friends, their parents came to Canada when they were, 10, 20. So like everybody's Italian. So those Italian customs are still going on, traditionally in Canada. So it sort of throws people off because when people think of Canadians, they're like, there's Italians there?
Yeah, because you think about mostly French people. Is there a
Exactly.
reason why there's an Italian pocket right there?
I think
Just like Toronto being a major city, maybe?
Yeah, Toronto's being a major city. So a lot of the late immigration in like the 60s, 70s, even
Right.
80s, probably even 90s, whatever, after that like second wave of immigration, there was no room in America.
Oh shit, New Amsterdam and shit.
All the money was gone, right? Everybody had jobs. Everybody had shit. So Canada, I know my grandfather went to my grandfather went to Canada because his brother had a job there. But my dad's and his family still lived in Italy, so he'd have to send money back. And then when they were like 12, they came to Canada.
What did your dad do when he first got to Canada? You started going to like Toronto, the middle school?
Yeah, so he was in grade 6, so he was 12, so they sent him back 3 grades. So he was, I guess, in grade 3. Yeah.
So by the
It's
time
like Billy Madison.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Yeah.
So by the time he graduated high school, what was he, like 19?
No, he caught up.
Oh, how? Summer school?
I guess the English language is like, I mean, once you pick up the language, English, you sort of quickly get back into the other things like math. Everything else is like sort of universal. It's just the English that once he picked that up, he sort of got to skip ahead.
And maybe, you correct me if I'm wrong, the Italian language and the English language has more similarities than, an English and a Russian language. Like they're words that are similar.
A little.
Maybe you can pick up.
A little bit. English is very difficult. Actually, English is
like
very...
Pickle, like how, is it E-L-L-E? I'm a quarter Italian, by the way, bro, if you could tell by my tan.
I couldn't tell by your tan, but I guess...
Absolutely. My grandpa, 100%.
What the hell was that?
I don't know. Fucking, yeah, that was terrible. Absolutely. My grandpa, 100% Italian. My mom, I guess 50%, and then me.
Have you been
quarter.
to Italy? Yeah.
I have. I went with my dad, who's not Italian. And I went to Rome, Pisa, and what's the third city that's right next to there?
I mean, Pisa's sort of up in like the,
took the train there.
Tuscany region, Florence now, Siena.
Yeah, I think just those 2 cities. We were there for like 10 days. I was 15, bro. I was miserable. When you go on an extendo trip with your family, it can be tough, especially when it's just like you and your dad. And I'm 15 years old. I'm smoking fucking cigarettes on the street, trying to get away from him, calling my girlfriend.
You got to go
home.
back. You got to go back because you don't really appreciate. Oh, shit.
Wait, where's the fountain? Where's the Trevi fountain?
It's in Rome.
I said I went to Rome, right?
You went to Rome, yeah. Everything,
So
all that shit's in Rome. Colosseum, Trevi Fountain, Pantheon.
Pretty healthy over there, those folk.
Oh yeah,
and then also Toronto's a healthy town too, right? Or it was.
Yeah, no, definitely Canadian FDA or whatever the fuck you want to call it is.
The food is way better too.
I think there's just a little bit of a healthier lifestyle, and there are some things that wouldn't necessarily be able to be served there. They monitor it a little bit better, and then the portion sizes aren't as big either. For sure, no, for sure.
Do you like Trudeau, the Prime Minister? How do you feel about him?
I don't know anything really about
people seem
politics.
To hate him. I don't get it.
People
seems like
do
a nice,
hate
charming guy, but maybe he's a puppet. Maybe that's why.
People do hate him because he does say a lot of things and he doesn't do them, and he still has like this. He doesn't even lean into himself being a liar. He's always been that smug, and his dad was the prime minister, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his dad was the best one of the best prime ministers. So like he always he has a target on his back.
So he's blowing it. Yeah, dude.
Dude, I swear I know nothing about politics in any nation. I just assume that if you're in politics, you're probably, you got a little bit of a shitty thing going on.
You got a chip on your shoulder for sure, yelling at you, telling you to do stuff. Did you go back to Toronto during the pandemic?
For like a month, because me and my girl had just moved in together right before the pandemic, like that March. So I wanted to see my family for like a month, but I couldn't.
Well, how did you get back and forth though?
I have a green card.
No, I meant like because of COVID restrictions.
I could because I was Canadian. I'm Canadian, so I could always go back into my country, and then because I have a green card, a permanent residence, I could come back here.
Driving and flying, you can do that?
I only drove.
Okay.
It was a crazy drive too.
Let's hear that.
I rented a car in Times Square, and there was no one there. There was one person there.
What day was that? March something, 2020?
July. It was July to August. I went for a month. So I went July, no one was there, and I drove through to, I went to Toronto, and you have to go through Niagara Falls, and no one was there. It was wild because there's always a line at the border and stuff like that. So I drove Times Square, no one was there. Niagara Falls, no one was there. And I even ripped around Niagara Falls, just like the, where the tourists are usually, and it was empty. So I was in two very heavily populated tourist attractions, and there was 4 people maybe that I saw the whole way there. There was obviously people on the road, there was cars, but it was just eerie. It felt like a movie. It felt like the apocalypse, you know?
Niagara Falls is pretty close to the Canadian border, right?
It's right there. It is the Canadian border. It's Niagara Falls, Ontario, Niagara Falls, New York.
How much more insane were the lockdowns in Canada? I've heard about it before, and obviously I've seen it on the news, but did you have friends who were like trying to get out, had circumstances that were life-changing, life-altering up there?
It was definitely, the restrictions were way worse. They actually, when you travel to Canada, there's like an app you have to use to sign in, and they say it was to monitor you, right? So this app on your phone, like if and there was fines too. If you were to leave your house after a certain time, they could fine. There was.
The house?
There was, for sure. So when I was there, I couldn't leave my house for 2 weeks, but they did call me every day and just make sure. I had one friend, he's a comic, Pat Bircher. He went like to sort of north of the city, like maybe an hour or 2 hours north of the city, and cops came to his house and they knock on his door because it was a small town, right?
Yeah.
So they had nothing going on. So they knock on his door and just see if he was there and stuff.
I remember flying one time from Florida to New York and them making you fill out a form. And then, dude, yeah, they can definitely track you on the iPhone. It's super easy.
100%.
Yeah.
I did, whatever, what can they do now? But I would go for some, like just a walk. I would go for a walk.
Oh my God, dude. Imagine like that's literally a criminal thing to do.
I mean, seriously, right? So I would just leave my phone.
A walk. Yeah. That's smart.
Because that's how I guess. I don't know. I don't even think they could track you if you go 2 feet. You know, I don't know.
I love these socks, bro. I keep looking at them.
Yeah, bagel socks.
Everything
buddy.
bagel with cream cheese?
Yeah.
So now I have the tofu spread. We're both Jews, right? You're a Jew?
I'm
Jewish?
not. I'm Italian.
No? All right.
Full.
I'm Italian Jew.
That's a pretty
Solid
common mix here in New York, right?
That's true. But you're a big bagel guy.
I mean, my mom bought me
as
these
you guys
socks.
see the socks here for Christmas.
I don't know. She always buys me socks.
Bro, that's a nice gift.
My mom's
they
always
say,
thinking about
and they
me.
always say at shelters and stuff, by the way, that they always need socks and underwear. So if you have socks and underwear lying around, drop them off at your local shelter.
That's
they
sweet.
always need it.
That's very nice.
Yes, of course.
Very nice plug there.
Yes. For the shelters, man. So how did you get to New York? High school experience? Did you go to college in Toronto?
No,
What's the dealio?
I did not. I went for like maybe like 4 months and then I dropped out. I just started doing comedy and then I was like, I want to do comedy. You can't really make too much money in Canada. It's the entertainment industry is not too strong. It's getting stronger, obviously, because Netflix and all these like other things production companies are starting to come there and they're filming stuff there. But initially when I started comedy, the goal is always to go to the United States to make money. And I always wanted to be in New York. I always loved stand-up, and I feel this is the best place to do it. So that was it. I just kept, trying to get my credits up and trying to, do the things I needed to do to obtain a green card, and that was it.
Go ahead.
No, that was it. I eventually applied, and I got, accepted as a...
You got in.
I got in. An alien in the field of entertainment. An alien of extraordinary ability in the field of entertainment, technically, is what my title is. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, viewers. So
amazing, dude.
I'm an extraordinary talent, according to your Homeland Security. They have deemed me extraordinary.
And you have that like on your card? It says that?
No, it just says green card,
okay.
permanent
Just
resident.
like when you go
I asked.
into the file, right?
I asked.
You
I
like
said,
put
"Can
it in an asterisk?
Where's the extraordinary part?
Come on, dude.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
So that was
but coming to the United States, how old were you when you made the jump?
27. Now I'm 37. So it's 9 years. So it'll be 10 years in February.
You mentioned aliens. Let's go back
Aliens.
to that. You see this recent thing that happened in, where was it? Las Vegas? Like
No.
4 days ago?
No.
Crash landing in somebody's backyard. It's on cop body footage cam.
Oh shit.
I'll pop up the video right here so you guys can see it.
It's almost midnight on May 1st when a Las Vegas Metro police officer's body cam catches this, something flashing low in the sky.
Look clearly, you can see it hiding behind the truck's window, and he moves away from the window when they get closer.
But you vaguely see a face in the background, and we don't know if it's staged or not. There's so many different things to do with AI and staging.
Yeah.
You hear about like these deep fakes, like Obama 4 years ago. It's only getting better.
Yeah,
it's
my
messed
neck's
up.
a little hurting here.
All
so
good,
I'm
dude.
gonna
Lean back in. Yeah, hell yeah,
it.
dude.
All right, there we go. My back's in shambles. No, I did not see that. Dude, honestly, I try to stay off the conspiracy things because
Yeah.
I am a person who will 100% like be a conspiracy person.
What's one that you believe that might be controversial?
No, okay, I'm not gonna say it.
Not the Earth being flat.
No, I'm not insane, dude.
Okay. It must be some JFK stuff if you don't want to say it.
No, I don't care about that.
Maybe it might be 9/11 stuff.
No, I'm not gonna fuck with that shit.
Yeah.
That's too like that's,
Pizzagate stuff, like the child pedophiles and QAnon. Trying to dig.
No. I will say this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I don't believe in it, but I am like, okay, that things are a little wacky here. The moon landing sort of.
Oh yeah, why do people keep talking about that? And why have we not gone to the moon? Or
No,
it was
I
just
think-
the
I
initial
think
Buzz Aldrin. We didn't go to the moon.
No, I think we have. I think they did. They really did do it. But just in the circumstances of it, they've only been. How many times have they been?
To the moon?
Yeah.
I don't know. Pop it up right here. How many times has America been? Are you asking that?
Anybody. I mean, humanity. How many times have they been to the moon? I have no idea. I don't know. It seemed very perfect for the moment. Not that I'm saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying if there was a conspiracy and that I would run with, that would be the one. But I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying
In the circumstances, live TV, one step for man, one step for mankind.
It seemed such a perfect moment, and it was like 1969.
Yeah.
It's like we can't even get reception in a fucking elevator on a cell phone. It's just
That's
pretty.
actually very true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only one. But again, I'm not really a conspiracy person. But if you get me keep me in the house for like 3 days, and I'm on the internet and shit, I'm like, oh fuck.
It was a space race too between U.S. and Russia, and it was right around the time the Cold War, USSR. We wanted to get there first.
Again, I'm not saying it never happened. I'm saying
I know, but I see what a lot of people say.
Yeah, exactly. But all the other shit, like, I'm not gonna go and say 9/11. Like, for what?
I mean, bro, as you said, if you're in the house for 3 days digging into it, like you can get yourself pretty convinced that
You could convince
there
yourself-
were a lot of weird things that happened.
You could convince yourself or anything, but I mean, like, also, like, people would get pissed. Like, people.
I can give you a safe conspiracy theory for the 9/11. So the flight United 93, it landed in like a field near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Apparently, it was going towards the White House, but the story. Well, the conspiracy
I know the
is
story.
it was going
Yeah.
towards the White House, but the theory is all the passengers on board
Yeah.
like rammed the cockpit and then it went
Yeah.
into the ground. But they were saying conspiracy theorists say that it was going towards the White House, so they shot the plane down.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about it logistically, like, yes, that's an amazing hero story for those people who are on flight United 93, but it would make sense that a plane on 9/11, they went for the Pentagon, they went for the Twin Towers, maybe that next plane was headed towards the White House.
Perhaps it seems likely that they're not
They
going
would shoot it down.
They're not going to a target, They're going to probably somewhere important. And I don't know. That shit. I don't like to like ruffle people's feathers.
Definitely
and stuff
not,
like
dude.
that.
And that's why guys like Alex Jones aren't taken seriously, because he really motherfucking ruffles feathers.
But-
He'll say things that maybe people can believe, but then he's like, the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting never happened. These
he
25 kids.
He went
actors.
too far. He had
Right.
people.
He did on some things for sure.
Oh my God.
Like he was going on Rogan like multiple times. People believe the stuff that he was saying.
Yeah, there's fucking people are nuts, and I feel bad for people to just. People have so much little confidence that they have to listen to someone like Alex Jones or whatever the hell his name is, or like someone like Andrew Tate.
No relation to me, by the way. Tate nor Alex Jones.
No. Pops out of the bathroom. Do we still have toilet paper?
What's up, Pavone?
Yeah. No. People are people. I can't believe how many people have like given this man money to that he has like. Now I know he like lost it and shit, but it's crazy that there's this many people out there that just believe what this maniac is saying or that Andrew Tate guy is saying. I feel bad for people. That's what it boils down for me at the end of the day. Like I'm like, I could listen to something and see people's point, but then I could also like go outside and live my own life and be like, oh, maybe that person was also crazy, or this person's like, I have my own experiences and I have my own thoughts, but some people don't. And those people I just feel bad for.
I think it's also a new age too. Like the past 20 years, we're getting so much more new information that we never got. Like I remember I used to sit with my dad on the couch. We'd be watching the news. It's just strictly bad news. Oh, 400 people died in Iran today. Bomb. Everybody get your flu shot. This team lost the championship. They won the championship, whatever. The news was so crafted for somebody to watch it, and it was an hour and you only knew so many stories during the day. Now when somebody gets a following, they can basically kind of keep saying whatever they want, and it's going to get more shares.
No, for sure. We definitely are in a different era of that. But that, just because they have a following doesn't necessarily mean that it's correct or something. It's just an opinion.
But you're saying that you feel bad for these people, and I think the people who are to be felt bad for see that this guy's getting so much attention. Maybe one of their neighbors had heard something, or they went on YouTube and saw this video, so now they're convincing them, and then next thing you know, they're storming the freaking Capitol.
Yeah, I feel bad for, I mean, not those people necessarily, but I just feel bad for people who just are like, you know, they just don't have their own thoughts. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like a lack of confidence or anything like that. Like, dude, just go out and enjoy the day. Go to a park and feed a fucking squirrel. You'll be so happy. Instead of trying to figure out if, QAnon's a thing. It's just bizarre. The way people decide to live their lives is interesting to me. I mean, again, we could both fall. Nobody is perfect, and we could both fall into like a conspiracy spiral and believe in stuff. But I don't know, man. I think life's just too short, and I'm not going to spend fucking my days fighting with people, trying to figure out if this is a conspiracy.
Fighting on Facebook comments.
If there's lizard people
paragraphs, dude, it's crazy
running
how that
the world and
too.
shit. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Is it worth it?
I don't know. Like you have, like, let's say you have one of your posts on TikTok start going popping, and you literally just see hundreds of comments, people arguing with the person above them. Sometimes some shit that like I
do
understand.
watch some comments though.
You know? Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm not beyond that.
Sometimes, like, if you go to really viral funny posts, like you go to the comment section, usually you'll find that really funny comment, which I do enjoy. Yeah. So it's a new wave. It's interesting. So you've been in the New York comedy game for a while now. You've been here 9 years.
Yeah.
Have you seen things dramatically change within the last 3 years since COVID?
Yeah.
Or
not dramatic, not dramatically, because I just don't know if it would have changed regardless of COVID. This is just where we were going anyways. But yeah, COVID definitely made a bit of a change, because there was a lot of kids who, not kids, but a lot of maybe newer comics who maybe weren't getting like the stage time and stuff like that. But then when COVID hit, they started going and performing like outdoor and started doing their own things, and then gaining a following. And then when things started again.
Do you think that's from the social media, or what do you mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like people were also like figuring out how to blow up on social media too. So then when stuff, and I'm not one of those people at all. I've never been one of those people. But like once stuff started to, open up again, they had followings, and now if people will book you obviously based on how many followers you have. I don't know if it translates to people actually coming to see you. I don't know the numbers.
I think it depends your niche. Like if
Maybe.
you're somebody who keeps posting the stand-up clips, then people, I think, would come to see your stand-up show. But if people are watching, like, maybe your sketches, or maybe you're doing something else very well and you go viral, it'll still translate, but I think more dramatically so if you're doing authentically what you have on your social media profile and in person.
True. Again, like, I don't know the numbers. I don't know how the shit works. Also, I'm lazy and I don't like
but
to
we're also
post.
We're also starting to see it too. Like at the shows or whatever, you'll see maybe a comedy club will book somebody who has hundreds of thousands of followers. Does it translate in that way?
You could, yeah. Once you start booking people and then people don't show up, or people do show up,
yeah.
Like, well, now I know. Now I know who's doing it. Now I know who's not doing it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think COVID definitely made a change. Now I truly believe that just things go like so. I think things will maybe go back. Maybe if people are getting booked sheerly on being, Instagram popular and maybe not the best stand-ups, right now it might be working, and clubs want to bring them in because they sell booze and shit like that. But I don't know. The world just always goes like, Jesus Christ, my act outs.
You just get cut. You good?
Yeah, I just start bleeding out. The world always just goes like that, you know? I'm fucking in pain. So yeah, I'm not too really worried about shit. And also I'm lazy. Like I said, at the end of the day, I just gotta start posting stuff too. But I
think we all do. That's like we got to wear all these different freaking hats now, as compared to probably when you first moved here. It's like you maybe wear a couple hats. You know, you do the sketch on YouTube, you do the stand up. Like now it's like, holy shit! All right, I got to do that. Guy's doing that. All right, maybe I got to do that. This and like interweaving. You know what I mean?
I'm also like not. I'm like I don't know if I want. If you look at people who are on fire, they work their ass off though too. And I'm like, maybe I'm just not. This has nothing to do with how funny I am. I don't think I have that like. I don't think I want to be famous that much. I don't think I like to make people laugh, and I want people to come and watch me, and maybe have a bit of a following. But I don't want to. I don't know if I have it in me to be this Kevin Hart, multi-dimensional. This guy's in DraftKings and fucking on Netflix and everything. Like, I'm starting to see like, oh God, maybe I don't. This is not me. You know what I mean? I don't have that like people. I think people want to be like have a legacy, and I'm like, I just want to be funny and have a nice fan base that enjoys my comedy. And I think that's what I'm figuring out right now. I still have work to get there and how to do it, but you know, I don't have this like I don't have this like Kevin Hart type ambition. I don't have that drive. I'm learning that. Because I'm seeing like people I know, we all see people we know that do a million things and they want to be, and good for them. God bless them. They're chasing their dreams. They want to do what they do. But I'm like, I'm too lazy for this shit. I didn't get into comedy to fucking work like a CEO. Fuck that. I want to tell jokes and go home and play. I just got Mario. I want to play that. I swear to God, it sounds like and people will take that like, oh, you know, you're not a quitter, but it's like, oh, you got to get it more. You got to have that Kobe attitude. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I just want to have like a good career and make my money. Have people like come to shows and be like, yo,
but there's literally nothing wrong with that. And I think sometimes you'll see these guys. I know. But you're talking about like the guys like Kevin Hart. There's one Kevin Hart, and you see guys like David Goggins. Get off your ass, do this, fucking wake up at 2 a.m.
Nah,
do
fuck
this.
That.
Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of pressure to be like that, but there's also 99 out of 100 people that are trying to do what you're doing, man. Like what you're saying.
I hope so.
Like no, I think it's true.
Okay,
I think it's true, dude.
I'm not really thinking about anybody really else.
Yeah.
I mean, I am happy for people. Obviously, we see these people that are like doing these unbelievable things, and you've been around them for a while, and you see them grow and stuff like that. But also at the same time, you're like, I think that's what they want to do, and I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah.
So, but that's part of growing up, I think, too.
Yeah, well, also knowing what you want to do. Super
exactly.
important. Have you had a moment in your New York stand-up career where you're like, I'm doing it. This is what I want to be doing. This is me doing it. Within like the past 3 years, or maybe your first 6 years, whatever. Because I know you're opening for a huge comic now who takes you on the road. If you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, she's a really good friend of mine, and
but you also got the chops, so
thank you.
You know it connects.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yes.
I'm actually really happy for her as a person, first and foremost, before anything. Like I've seen her work really hard. She's a great person. She's always super sweet, especially to me. So I'm just genuinely happy as a friend to see her. Like I will, like when I see her at shows and I see people like, you know, because we're both Canadian and we both come from.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we both come from like Toronto, which is no one really cares about shows and shit like that. You know,
in Toronto.
I mean, they care, they come, but no, it's not like America. Like America's like, this is the entertainment capital of the world, you know? So people come to shows, they enjoy it, and they go home. Canadian show business is actually pretty pathetic. It's really sad in comparison to New York and everything like that. It's pretty embarrassing.
Well, do you think anybody within the last 10 years has put it on the map? Maybe a guy like Drake, or you think about these YouTubers, the Nelk Boys, something like that?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely, like you said, things are changing, and I think that has a lot to do with it. But also mainstream networks have done pretty well too, like Schitt's Creek and like Letterkenny and stuff like that. But
those are Canadian.
Those are Canadian, but also that's only opened the door because of like Netflix and Hulu and American stuff like that. So the money's here, the fame and the wealth is all here. In Canada, it's more like just a gym. It's like you go there, you get it going, you get it going, you get it going, and when you're good enough, you come here. And now in the recent years, people have been able to stay there and make money there and stuff like that. But yeah, people like Drake definitely have helped. They truly have. That started maybe a little bit before with like the radio plays and stuff like that, where Canadian government's like, we need a certain amount of Canadian plays on the radio. There needs to be that. There wasn't that before.
In the United States radio, you mean?
No, on Canadian radio, there needs to be Canadian content. And that's something that happened maybe, let's say 10 years before Drake blew up.
So was that a political move?
It was
by
like
the government?
it was like a government grant stuff.
Okay.
So then once like 10 years went by, that's when you started seeing people like Drake pop off and Bieber. And there's a reason that the Canadians around the same time in music really started to really flourish. And a lot of it people think it has to do with those radio laws in Canada. So that was one of the reasons. But yes, people like Drake, people like all these Canadians who are coming here, it helps. It definitely helps.
Can you think of a stand-up comedian that's still killing it in Canada and doesn't feel like they need to go to the United States?
Yeah, this guy Jerry D, even though he was on a sitcom here recently, but he didn't have to. Obviously, Russell Peters was the first guy, but he was going all over the world.
Yeah, I remember seeing him like 15 years ago doing world tours.
Yeah, he was like one of the first guys who actually went viral before viral was a thing. Someone leaked his, Comedy Now, which is at the time people thought that was a joke. The Comedy Nows, it was like the Canadian Comedy Central. It was like the worst footage. It was like it
was grainy.
It was so bad.
How much time did he do that got released?
He did. I don't know. It was like a couple bits that really put him on the map. And I don't know Russell at all. I have no idea I have no idea of anything about him, but friends of mine know him really well. And they were saying that this guy, I don't want to like say anything out of line or anything like that, but they were saying like he's a great guy, and he was just going to be like, he was cool being like a Canadian headliner, a road comic in Canada. And he was cool making whatever it was he was going to make, and he was happy with his life. And then next thing you know is he's performing for the Prince of Jordan, because he popped off. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But when I started to watch comedy around like 2004, 2005 in Toronto, maybe like just before he popped off, and he was the king of the city, like in Toronto.
Did he make you want to move to New York at all?
No.
And jump?
No.
How about the people in your circle doing comedy?
Yeah, definitely. People like Nathan, he was always like he started
McIntosh?
Yeah,
Okay.
He started a couple years before me, and he moved to New York before me, and he was always like really good at comedy. Like he was one of these people who was just good, like right off the bat. He'll tell you, no, he was good. So he moved there, and I was like, well, Nathan's going to move there. I should probably move too, because I always thought he was really, really, really strong as a comedian. But people closer to me, not like the people like Russell, but people sort of maybe a couple years before me, those people really were the ones who I was like, okay, if they're going to move, I should move.
Well, 27 seems like a pretty impressionable age to make that big of a jump. Was there anything that was holding you back in Toronto where you're like, New York seems iffy. I'm already 27. I got this situation lined up here. Why don't I just stay?
No, not really. It was just the green card thing, like legality wise. Like that was the only thing that was, holding me back. But I always wanted to. I love stand up. That's the thing, and I always knew that this was the best place to do it. So I always wanted to move here because I want to be like a top notch stand up comedian. I want to be the guy, like, you throw me into any room and I want to do well. Like a bar show, a theater, like you chuck me in there and I just have the skills where I could make it work anywhere. And that's what I wanted to do. And I think New York has every type of show, every type of audience, and it will just get you like bulletproof.
I know you have some friends out in LA. Do you think about going out there at all? Or did you initially?
I did a little bit, but I'm not really like, I never wanted to like be an actor or be, I do actually. That's not true. But I don't like auditioning auditioning more. I guess now because of COVID though, that's another thing. Like there's so many Zoom auditions, but prior to all this social media and all this stuff where you could audition online and stuff, I was like, I don't know. But then the lifestyle of like driving, and I don't like the weather that when it's the same every day and it's hot, or not hot, but like nice weather every day. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I need rain.
You need something mixing it up.
I need rain. I need fall. If I don't have fall, I'll fucking snap, dude.
You're a pumpkin spice guy?
I love pumpkin shit.
No way!
Yeah, dude. I
love that, dude.
I love pumpkin
That's
shit.
great.
Give me pumpkin shit. I'll make my own pumpkin spice shit.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah, I made my own pumpkin spice last year. I was jacked up for it. I need spring. I need winter. I can't have the same shit every day. So I couldn't do that.
Also, I think a comedian making the choice, if you just want to strictly do stand-up, I mean, you go out to L.A., a good amount of people on any given show are also trying to do the acting. Maybe they're playing their guitar on stage. Like New York, when you go to these shows and we're around all these people, 99% of the people are just doing stand-up. It seems like. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and there's so many good comedians here.
There are a lot, bro.
There's so many good comedians here, and there's so many, and they're like, there's so many people that when I came here, I'm like, God damn, like, I can't do those jokey joke, like, bangers that they can do, but it makes you appreciate, like, what you can do as well without, bashing someone.
Well, how do you mean?
Without like you have a style, and then you come here, and the thing with New York is you still have to have the jokes always, right? In Toronto, there was a lot like Canadian audiences. There's a lot more like playing around. They're very cool with you, like not getting maybe to the punchlines quick enough, and like exploring and imagining stuff. They are very patient with you, Canadian audiences. But when you go to New York, you have to have the jokes, right? Like you need them. And whether that's like one-liners or stories, you need those in there. Or people are just, they know that New York and comedy are upper echelon. They need those jokes. So when you come here, you need the jokes, but you don't necessarily need them in that like one style of like boom, 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 like a tell. You could have stories, you could have other things, but you still need them, right? So when you see people like Mark Norman and Joe List, and you go like, God damn, I don't do that. It's not necessarily like a bad thing. You just got to figure out how to get the jokes in your style in there, because you still need them.
Well, everything in New York also is moving at such a quick pace. I would think that that's probably the kind of same energy and thought process people have when they go to these comedy shows. They're expecting everything to be quick and good and pay attention 100% of the time.
I 100% think so. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. And obviously LA has amazing comedians too.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not going to say not, but like you could see someone in New York who's been doing comedy for 2 years, and you're like, holy shit, this person already has like polished 5 minutes that is ready for probably TV. I don't know in LA if you could get it that quick. And that's not a shot at them.
No, it's not enough stage time.
Yeah, essentially. And again, like you said, the audiences are just like, when people come to New York, I feel for a trip, I think stand-up comedy is something that they put on their thing, like Broadway.
Totally.
Like a dingy bar basement comedy club, and they expect a certain level of comedy. So, I personally think that when you go to comedy clubs and you see the amount of people from different places,
it's wild.
Norway, Sweden, France, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? So, I think New York is the best for it. Anyways, that's why I moved here.
Do you have a favorite moment within these last 9 years that you can repeat off the top of your head? Or maybe something that was super cool that people wouldn't expect somebody coming from Canada to pursue their dreams in New York.
I will say that the last year opening for Steph has been unbelievable, just because watching her like actually have like fans is nuts. People come to see her. People, come and they like buy her merch and do all that stuff. And that's pretty crazy because I didn't think that would be a possibility for someone from like Canada to do without a major network behind them, or like some, you know, like a giant TV show. Like she pretty much did that through Instagram. She was on Netflix because of the Bill Burr thing, but you know, it wasn't the traditional route. And so to see her like getting like popular and getting like a following and stuff, it's pretty crazy. And I get to, we hang out, but she doesn't really change. She doesn't really change as a person either. She's like the same crazy person. So
you talk about the traditional route, somebody putting out 30 minutes on Comedy Central. This is maybe like, I don't know, 5 to 7 years ago. Somebody puts 30 minutes on Comedy Central, then they start touring based on
late night sets.
Everybody seeing it, sure. A new age, do you think that people are just going to start to take full ownership of their brands and start releasing it to YouTube, or having some leverage of YouTube and Netflix and Hulu, like just a bunch of places where they can release it? Or where do you see the best place potentially going forward to release something like that?
Yeah, I think like some of the best people that we know are doing that already. And you know, obviously getting on these giant podcasts are essentially just as good or better than, you know, late night spots. And not that I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm not saying that.
But it's becoming just as good of a credit.
I think
you've seen him on the Joe Rogan podcast. You've seen him on Late Night with Conan. I don't know which one's better.
Yeah,
you know, you think about something like that. You have a 3-hour podcast with Rogan.
Yeah, I think
5 minutes on Fallon.
I think those are gonna translate to followers more for sure. Hey, life changes. Everything changes. I mean, people were on horses and then there were cars. It's probably crazier than Joe Rogan being a better credit than Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, to wrap it back to the beginning, that, you know, you're talking horses, then you're talking cars. What happened to the train industry, bro? Why do I have to fly to LA tomorrow, man? But I'm excited,
industry.
dude. Yeah. Also, the flights are getting too expensive. They are putting you in smaller and smaller seats.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're fat shaming us, all of us.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, actually.
You know what I mean?
Dude, it's crazy how expensive shit is.
We got to start flying private, my G. That's it. That's
yeah,
the only solution.
How the hell do we do that? You gotta hook up on a private jet?
Yeah. Not at the moment, but
okay.
We'll see, bro. Fly down to Turks and Caicos with our boy, Drake.
Yeah, we got to do. I thought you were going to say Turkey. Can I talk about Turkey for a second? I want to get my hair transplant in Turkey. I want to go bad.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
okay, I've heard of that. I've seen, talking about TikTok again, I've just seen like TikToks of people on the plane, and then a lot of people just have the caps on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you have
definitely.
Good hair. What do you mean?
Nah, I don't.
You don't want to show?
No, it's coming. It's from the back. It's going. It's starting to go.
I remember you used to have pretty long hair.
I mean, it's pretty long, but there is a patch in the back that is quite evident from especially if you got a little bit of height on me, and most people do.
And you think going forward though, if you went to Turkey and get this hair transplant, that like your hair would be good for the rest of your life? Is that what the trade-off is? Is that what they say?
I hope to Christ. They say it's a good chance.
You hope to Christ.
And I like myself a little gambling too. So you might as well.
Yeah, true, bro. True. Who do you got winning Wimbledon?
Oh shit. Here. You know what, man?
Yeah.
I wish I was. I know people, because, like I said, I'm from like a very Italian area, but a lot of sharp gamblers are from where I'm from.
Bookkeepers?
Well, there's a lot of bookies, but there's a lot of people who know how to gamble and have sort of connects in the gambling world.
Talk about knowing how to gamble, though.
Just seeing lines and being able to read a line and beating line movements and stuff like that, and just knowing people that sort of are part of like large gambling syndicates. It's very bizarre. But anyways, I wish I knew how to gamble on tennis more. I'm sure I have a friend who actually, he'll be here tomorrow or in the next day. He knows people who gamble on tennis, and they're very good. They're very good at gambling on tennis, especially live.
Like random-ish kind of matches, like a 25K tournament, women's, and like
more
Tunisia.
More so those than the majors. I believe it's easier to gamble on a 2-set ATP non-major than it would be for the major. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I think also there's there's got to be some issues with the guys who are 500 to 700 in the world playing those futures. They must have some connection somewhere to, you know, if they need to move the line a little bit. I won't talk about like sports gambling like that, but if you're 500 to 700 in the world, you are spending $20,000 to tour as an ATP tennis player. You're not making any money. If you can make half of that on like losing a few games,
there's gonna be guys
this here and there.
There's
like,
gonna be guys
happen.
for sure who probably are doing it, or at least thinking about doing that. 100%. How can you monitor all these sports? How can you do it? I think when it comes to gambling though, those smaller, whether it's college basketball or tennis, those are where a lot of the really good gamblers like to spend their time, because there's whether it's people fixing games, I don't know, but they have a better opportunity to capitalize on a worse line in smaller sports than they would in if everyone's going to gamble on Wimbledon, if you know what I mean? So the lines have to be a lot sharper and a lot crisper. But an ATP in Singapore, you know, opening round, the line makers might slip a bit, and professional gamblers could see the value. They're like, oh, this guy's plus 200.
Yeah.
He should be plus 120. Boom, there it is. Whether he wins or not, who knows? But you're just getting value in that line.
Did you spend any time in Vegas?
I've never been.
Really?
I'm going in October. Or something.
Wow.
Yeah,
you're fired up.
Buddy, I'm fired up.
Do you have like a limit of how much money you're going to put in, how much money you win, and then you're out of there? What's the deal? Because I know you're a big gambler. Do you have like a mindset?
I'm not a big gambler.
You like gambling.
I do like to gamble.
Okay.
I'm not a big gambler. Like, I'm not putting a lot of cash on the line. I do have, like, in day-to-day things, when I do gamble, I put the same amount down and that's it. I don't fluctuate on my unit size. And when I go to the casino, that's pure like entertainment. Like, the other one's entertainment too, but that's like what, like, I go there thinking I'm going to lose that money.
What's your favorite game?
Craps. But I haven't played it consistently enough to be good at it. But I know a little bit.
What do you think about a company like Stake, who, for those of you who don't know, Stake, a gambling company who pays their creators and users hundreds of millions of dollars just to live gamble on stream, like Drake. You know, you talk about the Nelk Boys. What do you think?
Is that what they do?
Like yeah, they go live and spin the roulette wheel. I don't know how the payments are broken down, but Drake, for the most part, has said previously, or maybe it was the Nelk Boys talking about how they're not using their own money; they're just using Stake's money.
I mean, yeah,
Steve will do it.
I mean, it's brilliant. I want to do something in that vein of live gambling in sports capacity. Do they do that? Do they do sports capacity? Is sports live gambling?
They have something called Prize Picks that I know that they've been doing ads for in Nelk Boys wise. They're saying like you can pick which player is going to do what.
Okay.
And it's like you can bet live, so you can bet on one player instead of like a team.
Yeah, no, player props. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I think there's definitely a market in that to people will watch Drake gamble, you know, especially in sports.
Yeah.
If Drake puts, goes, I'm going to take Jokic to get over 8.5 rebounds today.
Dude. And then there's just a live stream of him watching the game.
100%.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I'm going to put that money, put my $12 down because Drake did it. Yeah, people are going to do it. They're fucking insane.
Yeah, so you don't think there's anything wrong with him?
With who? With what? With that?
With him, yes.
With Drake?
Putting forward the message that, like, I'm putting down all this money, you guys should too. Even though he's not directly saying it.
It's going to happen anyways. No, I don't think so. I would love to be a part of that. I would love to host something like that.
Yeah.
I want to do something with like two celebrities live gamble on a game together, and it's sort of like a podcast while live gambling event.
Love
and then
that, too.
within the game they can put in bets, and then the live gambling as well as like pre-game bets, and then the winner, after the whole event, has to give money to charity or something.
That's a great niche for you too, man.
I want to do it bad, but it's tough, man. It's tough.
Well, so I feel like we're also starting to get the ball rolling slowly now that more states are making gambling legal, right?
Yes,
sports gambling, especially.
Yes, but a lot of these bookmakers if you want to have an event, you want to have alcohol and you want to have stuff, and they won't be a part of it. And also
alcohol and betting is just danger mode.
No, look at bro, look at every commercial for DraftKings or Caesars or anything. There's no one's at a bar. There's no alcohol or anything that would suggest, because it's not good. They don't want that part of the brand. But yeah, gambling is amazing. It's so fun. But it's definitely very, very addictive. And you could get fucked. You could get fucked hard.
You have any friends who've gotten effed hard?
Yeah.
Like just put their mortgage on the line and stuff with kids?
I don't know how deep it gets, but yeah.
Well, surface level, how deep have you seen it gets? Like somebody who put their rent on the line, can't pay rent.
Yeah, I know. I know a guy like through a guy who he lost his house, so he's, a lot of money, a ton of money, dude. You just keep taking shots.
Yeah.
And it could happen quick. You start betting like $500 a game. Next thing you know, you're betting $5,000 a game.
Ew.
Now you're down 80 grand and you're like, I'm going to hit something eventually. Let me just, I'm already down 80 grand. What's another 80 grand? Boom. Now you're down 160.
What would your advice be for let's say you had a friend who's literally down 50K. He has a bookie. Do you tell him to move?
50K. No, not for 50K. 50K, you could probably work something out. 50K.
You mean like with the bookkeeper? Like, bro, I don't have any money. I'll give you 20K.
Well, they're gonna have to take something, right? They're gonna have to take something. I mean, the worst thing you can do probably is get on some sort of payment plan, because then you're gonna have to probably pay like 20% or something, for the year or something like that, which is brutal, which is probably what they want. But I don't know. I have no idea. Every situation's different. Every if you have a bookie, everything's different. But if you play with Caesars and all these other things, you got to put the money down first.
Right.
And which is you'd rather lose the money that you have than you don't have. Totally. Because you're gonna have to pay that anyways.
Get your legs broken.
Yeah, I don't know about legs broken, but they will. Like, I know people that will. The first thing they do is fully tell your family. Like, they show up to your house and they knock on your door and just tell your wife and tell or whoever it is
that they owe
exactly, and then
that's like a mind fuck, and then
it's gonna be the problem. But initially, they're like, you're with it.
That's got to be one of the worst addictions, man. Because you can dig yourself into a hole. Yes, you want the crack, you want the heroin, but like once you don't have any money, the guy who's giving it to you won't give you anymore unless they give you a little loan or whatever. But
exactly.
You can get way deeper into it with gambling.
The loan part is probably the worst part essentially, but yeah, with the gambling, you would get that loan quicker than you would for like drugs. I think. I don't know. I'm not the heroin junkie or some shit.
I think one of the first looks I got into gambling was Hardball. You remember the movie with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Betting on sports.
No, that's definitely a reasonable it's a good thing. Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
Definitely.
His attitude, his like emotions are pretty similar to like what goes on with like
and downs, right?
The ups and downs. It's like it's just dependent on like one game, like one outcome. It's crazy, for sure. People are insane.
Great movie, by the way.
Unbelievable movie. I love that little kid, that little cute kid.
Oh, G-Baby?
Oh, I know. He's so cute.
You cried when he got... For those of you who don't know, spoiler, cover your ears. You cried when he got shot, right?
Of course. What
when he
fucking
killed.
monster.
Oh, my God.
If you don't,
dude, that was when like everybody was in the theater. You can hear the sniffles next to you. I saw it with my boy's babysitter and him.
I miss the theaters when everyone's crying and laughing together and stuff.
Yeah, you're right, man. I do miss the theater. So, Alex, this has been a freaking great episode, man. We've learned a lot. Before we get out of here, we're popping up your Instagram. Where can we find you? What you got coming up that's exciting? Please, let the people know.
Mr. Alex Pavone at Pavone. Thanks for having me.
Alex, always a pleasure.
You're a good guy, dude.
You're a great dude.
You
Alex Pavone, this guy is great. Guys, happy Thursday. I'm in LA. Message me. DM me. TEDJONESWORLD at gmail.com. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Peace.